Welcome back to Fox Racing PlayStation. Welcome back to the Transatlantic Cup, the Ginetta GT5. And we are again at the Donington Park National Circuit. We are still recovering from that awesome race in race 1, where we had a very close finish with Diogo Silva ahead of Simon Allen, ahead of Kev Allen, with the last corner move by Simon Allen. They were followed by Darren Head and Gonçalo Mota completing the top 5. But there were battles through the field, 14 drivers, and we hope to see the same type of action again here in race 2. Let's go through the starting grid of this race, and it's a surprise in pole position as Rob Oldham, that had an eventful race in race 1, is on pole position, followed by Darren Head. Third is Diogo Silva, the winner of race 1, followed by Kev Allen. Simon Allen and John Scott are on row 3, followed by, in the 4th row, Jorge Jesus and Scott Davely. 5th row, it's Jambo and Peter Adrian. 6th row, it is Diogo Almeida and Gonçalo Mota, and David Emge is in the 7th row. We again have 16 laps of this race, and again, we are going to try to see what happens at different parts of the field, and we are going to follow the start with Simon Allen. You can see the red lights, you can see Kev Allen just moving a little bit, avoids the penalty. This looks like a copycat of the first start as Diogo Silva moves to the middle of the track. And look at Darren Head trying to get the lead. Darren Head is on the outside trying to get the lead. And look at the Allens are side by side. Oh, and contact between Kev Allen and Simon Allen. And look at this, Darren Head and Diogo Silva also side by side. Ooh, look at this, the top 3 are dangerously close. Dangerously close, and Darren Head really does not want to lose that position. But here comes Diogo Silva, almost contact. And Diogo Silva is again into 2nd place. Darren Head loses 3rd place to Simon Allen. But Rob Oldham retains the lead of this race. We didn't see a lot of movement through the field, but we are going to see we have a replay of any hidden action with Scott Davely. He was in 10th place at the start, I believe. And this is how all these 13 Ginettas look like in turn 1. Let's go to the chase camera as we follow. Look at this, Peter Adrian again and Jumbo almost getting together there. A bit of a replay almost of what happened in race 1. Scott Davely is in 10th place. Everyone, oh, and Gonçalo Mota hit him slightly, but no major harm there as Scott Davely. And in fact, we can see almost the entire field from 10th place. And well, we could even switch to David Emge, and we could steal the entire field as battles through the field there. Diogo Almeida is trying to go on the inside of Gonçalo Mota. That's the battle for 12th place. Oh, and someone is off. Someone is off. It's Diogo Almeida hits. But more importantly, Kev Allen has had a problem, and we will get the replay of what on earth happened. It was battling with Darren Head. Darren Head not having the start that he wanted. He's already dropped to 4th place. Oh, look at this. What happened? How did Jorge Jesus get into 4th place? It seems to me that some replay of this action. Oh, Darren Head, look at this. This was the battle there between Diogo Silva and Darren Head. Darren now loses a bit of momentum. And when you lose a bit of momentum with this tight racing, you get absolutely beaten up because Simon Allen is through, Jorge Jesus is through, and this is... all of a sudden, Darren Head, who was challenging for the lead in the first corner, Darren is getting a bit frustrated because he's really closing the door on Kev Allen. And I suspect this is not going to end well here as Kev, oh, they didn't touch, but Kev had to go on the inside curb. And now he's shortcutting his... look at those battles there. Scott Davely, Peter Adrian, John Scott and Jumbo. Well, they're all in the same place, really. And the first lap is complete, and Rob Oldham is the leader, followed by Diogo Silva. But for how much longer? Because Diogo Silva is coming at Rob Oldham. Rob Oldham, the pole position man. And whoa, look at this nice exit there by Diogo Silva. And can he do the same as he did to Darren Head? Oh, dangerously close, but he's through. Simon Allen is in third place. George Jesus in fourth place. And Darren Head is in fifth spot. Look at George Jesus. He's coming. Oh, and he's running wide there at the old hairpin. Where is Darren Head? Oh, look at the top three. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my, oh my, oh my. This is incredible. They are again basically in the same spot as Diogo Silva. Has a bit of a moment there. Simon Allen is trying to go on the middle of the two. Rob Oldham is again back in the lead of this race. And where is George Jesus? They grow side by... Oh, they're going three wide, the leaders. They're going three wide. This is not going to end well, surely. As, oh, look at George Jesus over there. Basically, this looks like a traffic jam. Wow, 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 look at George Jesus. He's already up into third place. Who's going to be the late breaker here for the chicane? And can they go through all of them? Oh, look at Diogo Silva and Simon Allen. Contact, as it's difficult to go side by side, but they all survive to fight another day. Look at Jumbo. How has Jumbo gone into... Oh, Darren Head. Darren Head has got together with someone. And we'll see who that someone is. It might be Rob Oldham. Oh, 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 no. The front row is in the wall. The front row is in the wall. And Rob lost a bit of momentum. He was on the inside there. There was a bit of space for Darren, but then they just connected at the exit and they parked their cars beautifully there. And Peter Adrian is up into fourth place. Look at this, they're running three wide at the front still. And Jorge Jesus, oh, contact there. But Jorge Jesus is a new leader. And look at Peter Adrian coming on Simon Allen. This is absolutely breathtaking racing going on here at Donington Park. Jorge Jesus, I cannot recall what was his starting position, but oh, look at this. Diogo Silva is getting a little bit frustrated there. Oh, look at that, they're trying to run side by side. Look at Diogo. Oh, that was a nice move there. And, oh, George and Simon Allen connecting. George and Simon Allen connecting. Oh, George, oh, that's, oh. What on earth happened to George Jesus? He's now in 10th spot. What? Well, we are absolutely... I don't know how to describe this racing. This is absolutely brilliant, but we will have a very long replay of what on earth is going on here, because this maneuver from George Jesus was absolutely brilliant. Now, they run side by side through the chicane, and Simon Allen and Diogo Silva got together, connected at the exit, but no harm, no foul. But here comes George Jesus, as they all tuck behind Diogo Silva. But what Diogo doesn't know is that he's about to get absolutely beaten up, because George Jesus is coming on the inside of Red Gate and absolutely brilliantly completes the pass despite having contact with both of them. Now let's look at what happens next, because George is in the lead of the race. Simon Allen is in third place, defending from Peter Adrian, who was up into fourth after Darren Head and Rob Oldham connected. Look at Diogo Silva now. There's a poor exit there from the old hairpin by George. Diogo Silva is beautifully going on the inside, and Simon tries to follow him, and there's no space there for two. And then George outbreaks himself, and Simon does a bit of a nudge there, but George was already out of control. Peter Adrian is up into third place. Jumbo is up into fourth place. Gonçalo Mota up into fifth. Kev Allen, who was shortcutting this area a couple of laps ago, is in sixth place, followed by Scott Davely, followed by John Scott, followed by Diogo Almeida, followed by Jorge Jesus recovering there as they go through the chicane there. And Peter Adrian is under pressure from Jumbo. The top two are now separated by half a second, and I have not, well, I can't remember such a bonkers first few laps as we've had here in this race in Donington Park. Now race leader Diogo Silva and second place man Simon Allen just want to be left alone for some time. And it seems to me that this battle that is brewing up here behind Peter Adrian is allowing them to do just that, because they're opening a bit of a gap there. Scott Davely is still a few car lengths behind Gonçalo Mota, but Gonçalo is coming. He can see literally that podium position in front of him. We'll keep an eye on other battles, but this is becoming too complicated to follow, as everyone is just on top of one another. Scott Davely there, followed by Kev Allen, followed by Diogo Almeida. I think it is better to follow people in the chase camera in this track rather than the trackside camera, because then we can see a little bit more any action that is ahead. As Peter Adrian, look at this, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, all in the same screenshot, as Kev Allen has a very aggressive exit there from the last corner. Let's look at the Jumbo's view there, as he's really trying to get into that third place, but Peter Adrian doing a good job there. Well, a little bit of an update on Darren Head and Rob Oldham. Rob is in last and Darren is in 12th place, followed by, well, David Emge is ahead of him. John Scott is in the top 10. So Darren, he's 10 seconds away from the lead, but he's only 5 seconds or so from this pack, this traffic jam. Oh, look at John Scott almost losing it there. There's a nice little traffic jam with Peter Adrian now opening a bit of a gap from Jumbo, Gonçalo Mota, Scott Davely and Kev Allen. Kev Allen is charging. Kev Allen is coming on the inside of Scott Davely. I think this is not the greatest idea for an overtaking point there. Probably better to just wait until the back stretch. Look at Gonçalo Mota. He is, oh, look at this. That is Diogo Almeida on Kev Allen. Kev Allen has had a bit of a problematic corner, and Diogo Almeida oh, Diogo Almeida, is he going to outbreak himself? Yes, is the answer, and so is Gonçalo Mota. We'll get a replay of what's happened, but he loses the position to Scott Davely. So does Diogo, that loses the position to Jorge Jesus. But let's look at Gonçalo Mota. He lost a couple of positions just in a matter of one corner. How did this happen? He outbraked himself. Did he have any help? He was trying to go around Jumbo on the outside. He wasn't close enough. Now he's trying to, oh, there was contact, but Gonçalo was probably braking too late anyway. Oh, and Scott Davely almost getting collected there, as Kev Allen goes up into 6th spot, and Jorge Jesus is coming with more momentum. Look at Diogo Almeida, dropped to 9th place as well as a result. We'll keep an eye on the lead battle. 7/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second between Diogo Silva and Simon Allen, lap 6 already. This is Jorge Jesus on Gonçalo Mota. There's a battle, almost contact between these two drivers. The two Portuguese drivers go side by side into the old hairpin, and Gonçalo does not want to yield here, and he does not. And whoa! Oh! This is a little bit aggressive there between Gonçalo Mota and Jorge Jesus. As Gonçalo now, oh, and is he going to spin? No, is the answer. Does he lose momentum? Yes, is the answer. And here comes Diogo Almeida on Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo was in 5th place just a few corners ago. Look at this, it's John Scott on Diogo Almeida. This absolutely insane racing going on. And Darren Head, of course, he's using this to get ever closer. He's ahead of David Emge, up into 11th place. Look at that, there's going to be more action there. Kev Allen on Jumbo, I think, and here comes Jorge Jesus. Kev Allen, a bit of a late move there on Jumbo, didn't quite work. Scott Davely is up into 4th place, Peter Adrian in 3rd. Side by side there between Jumbo and Kev Allen, that's for 5th place, and Kev is ahead. Kev is ahead, but can't break into turn 1 now. A bit of a switcheroo, and nicely done there by Kev Allen, up into 5th place now for good. Drops to 6th is Jumbo. And here comes Jorge Jesus, who is eyeing. And look at this, the leaders separated by 1.1 seconds. But oh, look at this, nicely done there. Nice exit by Jorge Jesus, up into 6th place. Jumbo, oh sorry, up into 5th place. Darren Head, oh, Peter Adrian from 3rd place. He has been in the wall. And oh, that's a bit of a shame. He clips the curb on exit. Oh, he's a bit of a passenger now. and hits the barrier. And look at this, pretty much everyone and their dog is going to go through here. And Peter, who was running so well, is down in 11. Up to 10th is Darren Head, and Darren has already joined this little group, as you would expect. He's got good pace, and of course these drivers are just absolutely tangling every single corner. That's John Scott, and 9th is John Scott, 8th is Diogo Almeida. Let's see a bit of action there at the chicane. Up to 3rd is Scott Davely, 4th is Kev Allen, 5th is Jorge Jesus, 6th is Jambu, 7th is Gonçalo Mota, 8th is Diogo Almeida, 9th is John Scott. And again we can see 3rd to 9th or 3rd to 10th in the same screenshot. And Darren is not completely out of the question. Look at this is Kev Allen on someone. That's Kev Allen on Scott Davely. Nicely done, Darren. Scott Davely. Whoa! A bit of pushing and shoving there. And look at that. He runs wide, partially through Kev and George trying to force their way through. Look at this. Jorge Jesus is back into a podium position, having been momentarily in the lead of this race. But look at the times, it's 1:16 for these drivers, 1:17. Scott Davely down into 6th place. Jambu goes through as well. And ooh, how did Darren Head go up into 7th place? Oh, and that's how Gonçalo Mota. Ooh, we have to see what on earth happened here, as John Scott is going to run wide, and so does Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo rally crossing there and hits Diogo Almeida. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That was a heavy crash, and I suspect that Diogo had absolutely nowhere to go. And look at that, Scott Davely himself run wide, lucky. And Gonçalo tries to come back into the racing line. Oh, just clips the back of Diogo Almeida. And Darren Head says thank you very much, because that's 3 positions in 1 corner, basically, or 2 corners. Oh, and well, they continue to tangle there, Gonçalo Mota and Diogo Almeida. Rob Oldham still in 13th spot, and he's 10 seconds away from David Emge in 12th. David Emge now has a very beaten up Ginetta for company there. That's Gonçalo Mota. And still in 10th is Diogo Almeida, 9th is Peter Adrian, 8th is John Scott, 7th is Darren Head. And all of a sudden Darren Head can see Kev Allen. So Darren Head definitely can see a podium position potentially, as the 2 leaders continue to be separated now by 2 seconds. Diogo Silva is running away with this race. Darren Head behind Scott Davely, who in turn is behind Jambu. Then is Jorge Jesus. We'll keep an eye on that battle between George and Kev Allen. Let's follow Darren Head as he is on the move. And he wants to make a move on Scott Davely. Oh, makes a mistake there, And look at, oh, saves it. But surely John Scott is now much closer. And things are beginning to sort out a little bit here. Let's go. Oh. We heard a knock there, and I wonder what was it. Oh, that was Gonçalo Mota in the gravel. Gonçalo is spinning, and this leads. Well, Gonçalo is now last, as Rob Oldham goes up into 12th, David Emge into 11th, 10th is still Diogo Almeida, Peter Adrian 9, John Scott. There's a big battle there between Scott Davely and Jambu, and these two have been at it for a while. And 6th is Scott Davely, lap 10 already, 6 laps to go at the next line. Oh, Jorge Jesus makes a mistake. Jorge makes a mistake, and Jambu, here comes Jambu. And Jorge has to let him through. He's, well, he didn't leave the track, but lost a lot of speed there in the red gate corner. Up to 3rd is, well, Simon Allen has lost time as well. Simon Allen has lost a lot of time. He's now 5 seconds. Oh, look at this. And that was Peter, or was it? Oh, Darren Head. Darren Head is again involved in an incident. And this was Scott Davely tried to go around George Jesus, a bit of contact there. Darren is going to go on the inside, but realistically he did not have space there to make a move, and ends up doing a 360-degree pirouette, goes back to the track. In 8th place, Peter Adrian is up into 8th. Now Diogo Almeida is not up into 9th. Darren Head is in 9th spot. Let's go back to, well, we couldn't quite see what happened to Simon Allen, but he's now 5 seconds behind Diogo Silva, 6 laps to go. Third is Kev Allen, and look at this, more action. Jumbo on Jorge Jesus trying to defend. Battle for 4th place here. Scott Davely is not far behind. Well, Scott Davely is not far behind. John Scott is actually not that far behind. Peter Adrian is still, well, it's 5 seconds behind these drivers, but Scott Davely again is going to try one more time to go around Jumbo and Jorge Jesus. And that driver ahead there, the yellow car, is Cavalon, going in 3rd place. Oh, Jumbo makes a mistake there. Jumbo makes a mistake, avoids the spin, but here comes Jorge Jesus, nicely done there. And Scott is trying to follow him. Now on the inside here, not the greatest idea to go around here on the inside. Probably better to wait a little bit more for a better opportunity. Now Jumbo makes a good exit there, tries to go around Jorge Jesus, but George now is firmly into 4th. And what I mean by firmly is that he's at least 0.2 of a second ahead of Jumbo. And John Scott wants a piece of this action. He's coming at Scott Davely, and these two again, magnetic attraction between the Scotts. We've got John Scott and Scott Davely, name and surname are the same. If you could potentially have a Scott Scott, that would be quite the name, and I suppose that's possible, but not in Old Folks Racing PlayStation. But these two are so close together that in fact we only have Scott Scott. Oh, Jumbo runs wide, Jumbo runs wide, but saves it. Kev Allen is losing a bit of ground as well. Jorge Jesus is coming. We'll keep an eye on these drivers as Peter Adrian, Diogo Almeida, Darren Head are... Oh, and Darren Head has had another problem. We haven't seen what was it, but we'll have a look, because he wasn't behind Diogo Almeida. But I mean, Darren does not make a lot of mistakes, and every time he makes one, we might as well analyze it in unnecessary detail. I'm not entirely sure that Darren had lost the position to Diogo Almeida. He has not. Oh yes, I was correct, and that was another 360-degree show of the features of this Ginetta. Beautiful there. In fact, nicely done, the 360, but Diogo Almeida goes through. Now, where is David Emge? He is not far behind, and neither are Rob Oldham and Gonçalo Mota. So Darren really not having the race that he wanted, is already thinking that he's going to drop this round potentially. He's again running wide there at the old hairpin, and of course the more you do this, the worse your tires become, as Rob Oldham really is trying to make a move on David Emge. Now on the outside there, perhaps not the greatest idea to execute an overtake, but he seems to have more pace, probably at the backstretch or at the breaking point of the chicane, although David Emge has got a good exit there. Battles for 11th, battles for the lead, battles for 4th place. We have a bit of everything in this Transatlantic Cup, and David Emge actually is having none of it, because he actually has had a pretty good back straight and now a pretty good exit as well on the last corner. I think that Rob is probably too far behind. We'll keep an eye on this battle now in turn 1, and we'll definitely keep an eye on this battle. Let's go back to, oh, look at this, Jumbo is again running wide, and this time John Scott goes up into 5th, and John Scott goes up into 6th, sorry, as Jumbo, just with one small mistake, loses 2 positions. Now look at that, he's coming back at John Scott, but John Scott cannot get unglued from Scott Davely. They're even running the same livery here with 4 laps to go at the line. That's going to be another 5 minutes of racing before we get done with this one. Diogo Almeida running on in 9th on his own, 10th is Darren Head. Let's go back to this battle here for 6th place in the last 5 minutes of this race. The leader is Diogo Silva, 4.6 seconds. 3rd is Keval, and 4th is Jorge Jesus, and Jorge is a second behind Kev. We can see them in the horizon, so we'll keep an eye on that battle as well. Look at Jumbo. Look at Jumbo. Nicely done there on John Scott. Jumbo is back into 6th place. And Rob Oldham still behind David Emge. And I think that Jorge Jesus is coming. Oh, look at this. Scott Davis running wide there at the Old Happen. At this point, the tires are no longer the same quality as when they started this race. Let's go and see this battle for 3rd place. You can see Simon Allen there in the horizon. And the lap 13 already underway. So lap 14, 15 and 16. 3 laps to go at the line. As no immediate threat there by Jorge Jesus. But look at John Scott and Jumbo. They are really at it. As Jumbo goes defensive now in the braking point for the last chicane. 3 laps to go in this race. That's going to be another 3 minutes and a half. Surely more action to... Oh, look at this. What's going on in the battle for 3rd place? Not quite. Let's look for other battles as Rob Oldham has gone ahead of David Emge. Rob Oldham up into 11th place, but remember he was in pole position at the start of the race. He actually led a couple of laps before tangling with Darren Head, and now they're sitting 10th and 11th. Look at this. Look at this. Darren Head is now putting pressure on Diogo Almeida. And Peter Adrian is in the horizon. Let's have a look at John Scott there. As Darren Head is really coming quickly at... Ooh, running wide there slightly. Darren Head, he only has a couple of laps to go, but surely he should be challenging for 8th place also because Diogo Almeida... Oh, look, what's happened to Peter Adrian? He seems to be slowing down a little bit. As these 3 are now battling. We'll keep an eye on the battle for 5th place as well. Oh, and Jorge Jesus is ahead of Kev Allen. This is a move for the podium, so we definitely should see what on earth happened here. Oh, and what happened is that Kev has had a problem. Almost spins. Almost spins, but loses 3rd position. Let's go back to Darren Head. This battle is kind of shaping up as the closing stages here for this race. Only 2 laps to go now. That's going to be 2.5 minutes at the most. And Peter Adrian has issues with his tires surely, because Diogo Almeida and Darren Head are coming at him. Only a couple of laps to go here. Diogo Silva is going to win again. 2nd race in a row. And look at this battle. Look at this battle. We'll keep an eye on the other battles as well. For 3rd and for 5th. And Darren Head is... well, he does not have a huge amount of time. He's going on the inside there. And oh, look at this. They're going to go 3 wide, which is not advisable. As Darren Head is going to get 2 in a row there. Oh, oh no! Oh no! Oh, the 2 red cars. The 2 red cars. And what on earth happened here? Let's look at this from Peter's perspective. Well, it seems to me again that this was a bit of a late move there, but maybe, just maybe, that Peter could have left a bit more space there, but it wasn't a super obvious move there by Darren. Now, where is Darren going to end? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Darren Head is losing his... he's in the gravel trap. He's rally crossing his way, but he is in 11th now. Let's go back and see other battles as they are about to go into the last lap of the race. And Kev Allen is being chased by Scott Davely. John Scott is John Scott is losing a bit of steam there. Last lap, 1.5 minutes to go. And Kev Allen still a second behind Jorge Jesus, Scott Davely, and then John Scott. Will keep an eye on this battle as the top two seem to be more or less stable. We will go and see the checkered flag when they get to it. But this is third, George Zush, fourth, Kev Allen, fifth, Scott Davely, sixth is Jumbo, seventh is John Scott. And Diogo Silva is just a few corners to go. We'll go trackside now to see the last few corners of this race. And Diogo is going to win again, and that's his third win of the season. As he comes to take the checkered flag and win race 2. That number 29 has had a good round, 2 victories, and the checkered flag is in the air. Simon Owen is in second place. Third is going to be Jorge Jesus, followed by Kev Allen. And oh, look at Kev Allen. Oh, whoa, it's a photo finish. How did this happen? Kev Allen got it. Wow. And we'll have an onboard view of this, because, well, did George just wow, what on earth happened to Jorge Jesus in the last corner? Kev Allen, oh, he outbraked himself. Now he's had a poor exit and just a few more meters to go, and Kev Allen gets the podium. Scott Davely is in 5th, Jorge Jesus in 4th, 6th is going to be John Scott, 7th is going to be Jumbo, 8th is this is a very beaten up Ginetta of Joe Almeida in 8th place. 9th is Peter Adrian. 10th is going to be whoa, what on earth happened to Darren Head? He's in 12th place, and this definitely has not been a race to remember. He was in 11th when we last saw him. Gonçalo Mota mysteriously is up into 11th. Ooh. And Darren on the last lap from 11th is going to park it in the tire wall. Oh, nice. Well, that's a controlled parking zone there, mate. And they're not happy there. Everyone is on the lead lap. He can still lose. Technic can still lose 13th place. Oh, David Emge is running wide as well. Rob Oldham, well, we saw 8th place man Joe Almeida. 9th is Peter Adrian. Up to 10th is Rob Oldham. Almost 9th, but can't quite catch Peter. 11th is Gonçalo Mota. 12th is Darren Head, and the race he will try to forget very quickly. And 13th is David Emge, as he gets to the chicane to cross the line. It has been an absolutely bonkers round of racing, and we shall see you in round 3 in Oulton Park for the continuation of the Transatlantic Cup, always in the Labrador channel. Until then, it's bye-bye.